Good morning, students. This is day 4, rather the final day in the continuation of the civics chapter number 9, public facilities. In this particular chapter, in our previous classes, we covered many topics like meaning of public facilities, the water problem in different cities of Chennai, then what are these sources of the government's income to spend it on the public facilities. Then in our previous class, we covered about the topics. We did the analysis of the water supply to Chennai, success of the government water departments in India. Then we covered the public transport, and in this we studied about the metro service and Mumbai suburban railway services, right? So today we are going to finish the chapter by doing the two leftover topics, the extending sanitation facilities. Here I will also explain what are the sanitation facilities and how the sanitation facilities have been extended throughout the years over a period of time by the government, right? And the second one topic, after studying the entire chapter, we will discuss the conclusion whether the distribution of public facilities in India is fair or not, right? So let us start with our first topic, sanitation facilities. Students, when we talk about these sanitation facilities, immediately the question arises in our mind, what exactly comes under the sanitation facilities? What are sanitation facilities? So sanitation facilities relates to the toilet facilities. Within the premises of residence. It should be within the premises of our residence. Now here, if we are talking about India, there is a very awkward situation. In India, many of only 46% of our Indian population is having these facilities, toilet facilities within the premises of our residence. Rest population is doing such type of things in an open area only. And if we are talking this particular topic, one movie is coming in my mind, Toilet, a Prem Katha. In that particular movie, if you have seen that particular movie, so you must be remember that it is a movie moving around a particular lady who struggled in a in her in-laws family to have the toilet facility inside her home itself, right? So that movie was related to, entire movie was related to the struggle of a lady for having the toilet facilities in her residence only, right? I hope you remember that particular movie if you have watched. So what are sanitation facilities? Having the toilet facilities within the premises of residence only, right? And I also told you about the situation, only 46% of Indian population is having the toilet facilities inside the residence. Rest, they are using the open places for disposing the human excreta, right? So in this particular topic, what is the extension done by the Indian government in the area of sanitation facilities? What is the extension done by the Indian government? Students, in whatever area you are living, you must have watched in particular area, you must have observed in your area that there is a beautiful constructed building, maybe nearby the market area, by the name Sulabh. What is that Sulabh? Sulabh is one of the developmental program of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Under this program, the shauchalayas are provided at the public places which are constructed by the government of India only under the program Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. You must have observed, and if you have not seen, then if you find the opportunity to find such type of shauchalayas in your market area, so you must observe such type of buildings in your area if you have not seen till yet. But I'm sure you have definitely seen such type of shauchalayas by the name of Sulabh in your area where you are living, right? So according to this Sulabh, and one more thing is coming in my mind, who is the owner of Sulabh Shauchalayas? Yes, Bindeshwar Pathak. And if you remember this name, this person also came in one of the episode of Kaun Banega Crorepati, and he came in the program in Kaun Banega Crorepati, and he shared the this abhiyan he opened. And the moment he started, by the name of Sulabh, it is an NGO who is working from the decades. It is an NGO. It is a NGO which is working from the decades for providing the sanitation facilities mainly for the poor people, because these are the poor people who become the victim of the waterborne diseases. If the human excreta is in open, then it leads to the waterborne diseases. And in order to avoid such thing, the Sulabh is working for providing the sanitation facilities to the poor people. So far 7,500 public toilets have been opened under this particular scheme by the Sulabh NGO. And it has also contracted with the municipalities of the that those areas in which the particular toilets they are locating. So they are making the contracts with the municipal corporations or the local authorities. Why they are making the contracts with the municipal corporation? For receiving the funds from the municipal corporation, so that they can they can work out in this particular area construction of the public toilets in a better way, right? So the municipal corporation are financing the public toilets under this particular program. And there is a very nominal, when the particular scheme was started, Sulabh, the very nominal charges were there, rupees 1 for using the toilets. And later on it increased to rupees 5 for using the toilets, and rupees 10 for if we are using for the toilet purposes as well as for the bathing purposes, right? So these charges are again depending upon the location where they are situated, and the according to the cost of living. In metro cities the charges are accordingly, and in local area and in the other than cities other than the metro cities the charges are accordingly. But these are the standard charges. Initially it was 1 rupees only, then increased to 5 rupees for only for lavatory if we are using for lavatory purposes, and rupees 10 are there if we are using these Sulabh Shauchalayas for lavatory as well as for bathing purposes. So accordingly charges are there. So I hope this topic is clear to you. Now what are the benefit of Sulabh or having the toilet in one's own premises, right? So these are the girls and the ladies who got the benefit of the particular scheme. And as far as it saves the dignity of the girls as well as the ladies, because these are the two categories of our Indian society which never feel comfortable go for going to the open areas for the lavatory purposes or any other type of purposes. And with the help of Sulabh, these two categories of our Indian society, their dignity have been saved, and they are the most benefited section among the all the sections of the society, right? So let's move to our next topic, last topic. In the form of conclusion, we can say that, so we students, we have gone through the particular chapter, and after studying the particular chapter, you tell me whether the distribution of public facilities are fair or unfair. Tell me. Yes, your guess is right. These are still unfair, because if you have seen in the rural area, still they are not enjoying the facility of electricity. They are not enjoying the facility of transportation in the same manner wherein the people are enjoying in the manner in which the people are enjoying the same facilities in the metro cities or in the urban areas. So they are underprivileged. Who they are here? I'm talking about the poor people, those who are living in the villages. They are still, even after the development of so many years, they are still underprivileged of all such type of facilities. People, those who are living in the metro cities or in the areas where the politician are also living along with them, so in that area all the facilities are up to the mark. You also notice sometime, if you are living in a particular area, the area in which any MP or MLA is living in your society, so you you will notice that in your area street lights are properly working, the situation of road condition of roads are up to the mark, and the area nearby to your locality, if poor people are living and if there is no politician is living over there, then they are deprived of the particular facilities, and they are still struggling for the facilities. Whereas, as far as the matter of public facilities are concerned, each and every citizen of India, whether they are coming in the rich class, whether they are coming in the middle class, whether they are coming in the poor class, it is the fundamental right of them to have the public facilities to be provided at a nominal rate to everyone, right? So the purpose of this chapter was only to make you understand about the public facilities and how the government is providing the public facilities, and how the government is working upon to make the improvements to reach the public facilities to the poor and the people who are living in the rural areas as well, and equal distribution of the public facilities should be there, right? So all the topics of the particular chapter we have covered. I hope the chapter is clear to you now. We will continue further with a new chapter. Enjoy the weekend. Bye.